We, the jury, on the issues joined, find in favor of the plaintiff, Abby Zwerner, and assess her damages at $10 million. The award interest beginning on June 1st, 2024.
And there you have it, the breaking news we are following out of Newport News, Virginia. Abby Zwerner, a former teacher, awarded $10 million from a jury. We're right now waiting on a press conference to happen outside of that courthouse.
Yeah, you see the parties now walking towards the microphones. Let's listen in.
We would just like to share that this has been a good week for Abby to get to finally speak for the first time and be heard. So we're very happy with the fact that Abby's story got to be told. I remember just 3 years ago, almost to this day, hearing for the first time Abby's story and thinking that this could have been prevented. So now to hear from a jury of her peers that they agree that this tragedy could have been prevented. So we're very happy with the outcome for today, and we're happy that Abby's story got to be told.
What's the next step legally for the case? Are there post-trial motions scheduled, and then, of course, an appeal would be expected?
Yes, we'll be coming back for post-trial motions. We'll set that date sometime soon.
Teachers across the nation have been watching this trial unfold. What kind of message do you think this sends to them?
Well, I think it says that what happened at Rich Neck Elementary School that day was wrong and is not going to be tolerated. That safety has to be the first concern at schools. I think it's a great message.
What do you make about the larger deal here where somebody's being found liable that was not involved in the actual shooting itself?
Yeah, ultimately, I think we have to acknowledge that there are multiple... Closer to the mic. I think we have to acknowledge within our civil justice system that accountability comes from anyone who contributed to the ultimate outcome. And some of these things are foreseeable, and if we can take the appropriate measures to prevent them, then we can save lives, and we can save lives from being harmed detrimentally forever. And so ultimately, it's for the jury to decide what's right. They decided what's right, and we're grateful for their time and their attention these last 2 weeks.
Is there any clarity on payment of the judgment? I know there was some questions surrounding this Virginia Risk Sharing Association, potentially terms impacted by any guilty finding. And the criminal case set for trial November 17th. Is there any clarity at this point as to who will pay the judgment?
Let me say this, that there are post-trial motions, obviously, that are still pending. There is an insurance policy that's covered for the school board, and the defendant, Parker, is a named insured. You know, the teachers, and the one comment that I wanted to make about the teachers in America, because I think it's important to say, the comments that we received in my office, Diane's office, and Kevin's overwhelmingly were teachers concerned about their safety in schools. And if this doesn't send a message to the schools of America that teacher safety and children's safety from weapons is too important to make it a second thought. It needs to be the most important thing that schools do, taking care of the teachers and safety of our students. And if that means metal detectors, if that means something else, we can't let these kinds of school shootings, whether it's an individual case like this or the mass shootings that have destroyed America. School safety, teacher safety, children's safety is the most important thing. This verdict reminds people that you will be held accountable if you don't make that your first concern. So we're pleased with the jury understanding that.
How is Abby feeling about the size of the verdict?
Abby's pleased with the verdict, and we obviously need to make sure that when we address it post-trial motions, we'll see what the judge does or doesn't do. So we'd rather not talk about the amount. It's not important today, as in fact the justice part of this is. The money obviously means that this jury knew it was a serious injury to her.
How is she feeling about the verdict itself? The fact that it's not the money, but the fact that they decided...
She's smiling, her mother's smiling, and her sister's crying. I think that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, Abby's been waiting for a long time to be able to share her story, and so this is a good thing. It's been great that she's been able to share her story and have that closure.
Mr. Bright, I think you might know this. Is there any other previous gavel-to-gavel trial broadcast in the region's history, Hampton Roads, or what have you?
You say that because I have gray hair. I do not believe that there has been a court TV or gavel-to-gavel. There has been plenty of TV coverages on some very significant criminal cases, but this would be the very first civil case that's been televised that I know of in our region.
Yeah, finished one historic case and you guys are about to go into another one. You guys feel prepared for the next one?
Kevin Biniazin's always prepared. I'm going to go surfing.
Definitely be prepared.
Any other questions?
All right.
We'll be back again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it from the attorneys. Upbeat, of course, but I like that they paid attention to the national issue of teachers and what this means for them, because this is a big verdict.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. You know, I was taking a look back at a situation here. So the district had claimed that Zwerner's injuries would have been covered under the workers' compensation. Now, a judge rejected that, saying that this situation did not constitute a typical workplace hazard. So it would
unforeseeable.
It would, yeah, it would not be covered under that workers' comp. So that was a big discussion in this situation. And here then we have the result of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't have a situation where teachers are at school thinking, I'm going to be a teacher. We have a hard enough time getting teachers. We have teacher shortages everywhere. I know where I'm from, we have teacher shortages. And we don't want to have a teacher in a situation where, well, you have to just assume that a child might be bringing a gun to school, and if you get killed, no, too bad. We don't want to have that.
Yeah, I mean, from the other side, it was a 6-year-old. And the idea of a 6-year-old with his little pockets, with the 6-year-old body and mind, really got himself a gun, a loaded gun, wheeled the gun, pulled out the gun, took it from the backpack into his jacket, held it. I can see why the defendant didn't believe it. And I totally see this is an interesting case.
She had worked for 90 minutes. 90 minutes, it appears, that there's a possibility that this child has a gun at school.
Let me ask Jack Rice this question. Jack, still with us. Does this have a chilling effect at all for administrators? Because this is, I think, unprecedented in terms of the criminal case. I'm sure there are administrators who have been sued before, but she's actually going to have to face a criminal trial here for what she did.
I hope so. I mean, I actually do, because if we think about this notion of what's happening in our schools, and we think about we send our children and we pour all of our faith and our hope and our love into them, and we want them to turn into something, we want to believe that they're going to come back at the end of the day. And we should feel the same about those teachers, and we should feel the same about those administrators. And so what I want to see is that much more from them for that very reason.
Jack Rice, thanks so much for your analysis as we covered this breaking news out of Virginia. Millions awarded, $10 million to that teacher, Abigail Zwerner.